I walked in on my brother with a nude calendar, and he was obviously masturbating. And I remember I went to go and tell him dinner's ready, and then I was like, oh, and I just pretended not to see anything, and I was like, oh, dinner's ready, and then walked out, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it.
Little did you know he was cooking up his own thing.
Yeah, no, I know exactly. And so I was a bit like, oh God, okay, I'm just going to pretend. And I don't know whether I know that he was like obviously shocked that I just come in, but I think he kind of thought, oh, maybe she's young, she doesn't know, what was happening, and she didn't say anything, so maybe like all good. And to this day, he doesn't know. So like I'm literally saying this for the first time now.
So what's like the age difference with your brothers, and how old were you then?
Yeah, so my brother, what's the age gap? I think 4 years. So I've got 4 years and then 2 years and then me. So there's 2 years in between all of us. Is that right? Yeah. My brother's
Yeah.
26 now, I'm 22. That's 4 years. Yeah.
And you've got a 24-year-old in the middle.
Yes. Yeah. And then I've kind of grown up with a few extra around the house as well, just from my brother's friends moved in when we were really young. So I kind of always say that I have more brothers than I actually have, because they just live with me since I was about 12 or 13. So I've just grown up with loads of boys around the house.
That's cool. Well, that's interesting. Like, how did that come about?
My brother joined a band, and it kind of became all about music within the household and creativity. So that was great. So yeah, they moved in because it was easier for them to practice, and also I think none of them really had. They were trying to find a home because they moved out of their own home. So it kind of just worked that we had some extra space, and my parents were like, "Come and live with us." So yeah, it was great, good, lots of fun. But yeah, definitely changed my life growing up, because it was obviously going from I've a five person family to then a lot more. I think our maximum was 12 at one point, so it was quite big family.
That's interesting. Do you think that impacted? Well, obviously it would have, but how else do you think that might have impacted on how you viewed sex?
Yeah, I
Especially, like,
think
musicians, especially boys, are like, do you know what I mean?
yeah, no, absolutely, and it's all rock and roll. Yeah, so I think definitely I have a very different idea. I felt like when I was younger, I especially had a very different idea on sex. I suppose sometimes I thought that um that men could play around, but women couldn't. Not because my parents or anyone would say that to me, but it was more the fact that as my brothers got older, sometimes they're a bit more promiscuous. Whether they had a girlfriend or not, this is like the brothers that aren't my brothers. And so that was kind of so I kind of looked on that and thought, oh yeah, well, boys can do that because there's a certain reason for that, them doing it, and I can't, and girls can't. So I definitely think that like was to play. But it made me have a very good relationship with sex, in the fact that I know that it was meant to be fun and that you can have fun with it. And I know one of my brothers, he had a long relationship for a very long time, and then that ended, and now he's like living his absolute best life because that ended, and he's realized how much he was missing, and I think that's important, that I've kind of learned from all my brothers that had so many different relationships, and different and they all worked out differently, and I think that's important, that not all relationships have to go all the way. You can have a relationship because that's right for you now, and it changes.
Uh.
I feel like I should have started with that rather than say that they've been promiscuous.
No, it's fine. However it comes. How would you describe the work that you do?
um, it's a lot of fun. I like to think it's educational. So yeah, to do with sex and relationships. But I think it's very much it's open to interpretation. So however anybody likes to think about my work, then that's great. And as long as you look at my work with an open mind and you're willing to learn, I think that's very important as well.
Mm. How would you define sex education?
Um, God, you know what? I don't think I've ever actually been asked that question. Which is crazy for the line of work I'm in. How would I define sex education? It's lacking at the minute. I think, yeah, it's not good enough. But sex education, I think, is anything you want it to be. It doesn't, we may think we know all about it, but we actually, might not know half as much as we should know. And I think it's anything that you, yeah, wanted to be. Um, and yeah, I think no matter, I think there's too many people that kind of put pressure on it, or think it's got to go a certain way, when you're, starting out to have sex, and it doesn't necessarily have to be that, and there doesn't have to be pressure on it. So yeah.
What does that mean?
That I feel like obviously when you turn, I would say like even as young as 13, you start, or younger, you start thinking about sex and you feel like it's got to go a certain way. So either you've got to have your first time with someone that's special to you, that you've been with for ages, and you can't have it until you're 16, or even even older. But then there's also a rush being like, oh, I shouldn't have it when I'm 16, I should have it before, because all my friends are having sex, and I want to do something, I have to get it out the way and do it now. So I think it's completely whenever you feel ready to do it and you want to do it. And um, yeah, I think there's a lot of pressure that it's also, that if you have sex, something bad's going to happen. You're going to get pregnant. You're going to get an STI. And it's actually, that's not the case. Of course, you need to be careful, and wear protection. However, I think I was definitely taught. I kind of didn't realize that sex was pleasurable, especially for women. Um, and I had the panic thinking, well, as soon as I have sex, I'm gonna have get pregnant. And what if I get pregnant? That's the worst thing ever that could happen to me. When realistically, I mean, it's not necessarily the worst thing that can happen to you. Um, and you shouldn't be shy with the fact, and also the likelihood of actually getting pregnant, I also think is crazy. I feel like people try for years and they don't
Mm.
actually get pregnant, so you never know. And obviously there's going to be that time where as soon as you'll get pregnant straight away, but I just think there's so much yeah, they kind of scare you out of doing it, and scare you out of it, when really I think it's a great way of meeting people. It's like builds connections.
Mm. How old how old were you on your first time, if you don't mind me asking?
I was 16.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I had sex, and I had it with my best friend, who's still my best friend at the time. And it's because we both kind of wanted to have sex and we hadn't had sex. And yeah, and we kind of had sex, and then like we're like, right, give me recommendations and let's score it out of 10. So yeah, so that was fun, but like not at all the way I thought it was going to go. And again, yeah, I felt that pressure, being like, oh, I really want to have sex. I wanted to have sex when I was 15 because I just wanted to do something a bit naughty, and a bit like, oh, that means I got it before everyone else did, and so that was kind of like what I kind of wanted. And I thought I'll probably, be at a house party, be drunk, and it'll be with someone random, and it'll be like so much fun. And yeah, I was sober in my house and with someone that I knew, and that we weren't together. So yeah, so it was like so crazy, and I was so nervous. And I think the reason that I wanted to do it was because I was so worried for it. And it was, yeah, I would write a list of worries all the time on my phone, because I was a very anxious kid, and I would be and always like sex would be at the top of the list. And I was I might have been 14 and nowhere near. I mean, I was nowhere near having sex even when I had sex, because I didn't have anyone. I didn't have a boyfriend, and I didn't, you know. So it was the fact that, like, realistically, I wasn't going to have sex in a while, but yeah, it was at the top of my list. I was so scared to do it, because I felt a level of pressure of having to be good, or the fact that, do I know what I'm doing? I thought I really did know what I was doing, and then I went to have sex, and I was like, oh God, I really like, where's the hole? I didn't know that this could be so much of a, of a thing. Yeah. And then from that, I had been writing a play about first time sex. And within that time I had sex for the first time, wrote about that. And then I started the podcast after I had had sex just that once. So I knew nothing. And after that first time, I never wanted to have sex again. I was like, that was terrifying. I hated that. I loved the experience of it. Had the best time. It was funny, and have so many like great memories from it. But I was very much like, oh, I don't want to do it again, and I've got so many questions, and I want to ask people, because I thought I don't want someone else feeling the same way I do. So I started a podcast. Yeah, I think I said that.
So you started the podcast 4 years ago.
Yes.
What do you think you've learned about yourself in the last 4 years since starting the podcast?
What do I think I've learned about myself? That I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was. And that I think that it's important. What have I learned about myself? I mean, so much, but I feel like, yeah, I just think that I'm stronger than I think I am. And I think I don't know whether I'll ever know what sex means to me, because I get so many different, because I'm asking people all the time, and I'm not sure where I fit in it. But I think I've like realized that that's okay, and that's what everyone also goes through. I don't think everyone, you could be in a marriage for a long time and you think you've nailed sex, and then you get divorced, and then and then you're like, I'm back in this, and I think, and marriage is forever changing as well. You fall in love with someone many times, well, you should do, I think, through marriage. So yeah, so I think, and you don't just have one first time of having sex. I think you have so many firsts because you explore other options and experience different things. Yeah, I think, yeah, I'm trying to think. More will come to me because I have learned a lot. But yeah, I can't believe I've gone down this avenue, really, because I wasn't kind of expecting to. I didn't think sex is what I would go into.
Yeah, it's quite remarkable, like thinking about, like, it's quite a brave, it's a very brave topic
Yeah.
to start publishing to the world at that age.
Yeah. Mm.
I think, I loved what you said about, was it the definition of sex? Like, you can't really, that's like, you can't really grasp that because
Yeah.
it's so variable
Yeah.
depending on the person. And I discuss a lot of topics on the show, and quite often we do quite a bit on sex and relationships, I would think. And I feel exactly the same, actually.
Mm.
You know, I and I'm a little bit older than you, and as well, I think of how I'm seeing like shifts. Like I'm like your grandma now. Like what it was like back in my day. But seeing shifts and even just stuff like, I don't know, like choking and all
Mm.
that kind of, that's like pretty like a new thing,
Yeah.
like that's come along. And you like wonder, like, what are the environmental factors? Like, is it social media, is it pornography, or is it more to do with like psychology? And
Mm.
it's yeah, it's pretty crazy. I was thinking, do you think those that are kind of coming through now, like the generation below you, do you think they're having sex around that same age?
Um, to be honest, I feel like I have absolutely no idea. However, I do think, I feel like I know, well, I thought my age, most people were having sex around 16, 17. And I've got a lot of friends that are 22 and haven't had sex either. But then I met people that are the same age as me now, and I was like, oh, tell me about, your childhood. And they're like, oh, I had sex when I was like 12 and 13. And I was like, what? Like, I can't believe I didn't know that that was happening within my own schooling or within my own generation. So I think it's one of those things that I feel like the age of like getting married or having children has changed again this year, I feel. So it's either that it's gone even earlier, or now it's really late. And I don't know whether it will ever. I think for my grandma's age, it was probably like you didn't really have sex until you got married, but you got married at 21, or even some cases like 19, and really that's like the age that a lot of people have sex for the first time anyway, but it's just not because they're married. So it could be now that I feel like it might never. I don't think the age of having sex will ever change. I feel like it will be always consistently within kind of the same time frame, which is interesting. I feel like I've never said that out loud because I don't really. Yeah, but I feel like maybe that's just one of the things that I don't believe will ever change. But the worrying thing is that it might be getting younger and younger because of what we can get online now, with pornography. And yeah, I just feel like there's a lot more access to it, which could mean that you seeing it more, and the more you want to then have sex, yeah, which can change things.
Yeah, I wonder if like it's probably like a little bit of a bell curve in terms of like, because basically it was like 15, 16 was most people my generation, but you did have outliers where, like you say, 12 or 13 you would hear about them,
Yeah.
and then others who were like much late bloomers, like when they
Mm.
went to uni or
Yeah.
whatever. So yeah, that's interesting to see that it seems like pretty consistent
Yeah.
despite changes in access to graphic content.
Yeah. 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 Um, but either I feel like graphic content like makes you stray away from it, or it makes you want it more. Either freaks you out or makes you um or like it could be that having that content makes you think, well, you don't need to go out and see someone else. You can just have it right there on your, like, as soon as you want it. Um,
Uh,
you don't maybe need to. And there's going to be like robots soon, so that's a bit of a worry.
yeah. What are your thoughts on porn? Have you ever did you ever watch porn? When did you first watch porn?
I've never watched porn in a sense for myself or for like a partner or whatever. But the first time I watched porn, God, I must have been 17 or 17. I must have been, because I started the podcast at 17. So I must have been interested, but I watched it with friends.
Mm.
And it was kind of like, let's put it on because I've never seen it before, and all my friends were kind of like shocked that I hadn't seen it, and were like, yeah, let's put it on. So we put it on for 5 minutes, and I was like, oh my god, this is so gross. But it wasn't ever watching it in a fantasy way. I was just intrigued. So watched it. And then I did the classic thing of like putting porn on the TV and then like switch the TV off. So then the parents came home, like would switch the TV on, and they'll be like, what's their son doing?
Oh, channel like 999 or whatever it was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're acting like you don't know the number.
Yeah, it's been a while. Babe Station.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
See, yeah, because there's this like this slight age difference. I'm trying to work out. I'm like, is this the same? Like, is it like the same crap? Like we
Yeah, like,
we we would watch would be Channel 5.
mm,
Was like, was it? Yeah, Channel 5. So I must have been, I don't know, like 10. But it was like soft, very
like
soft, and it was
yeah,
just like, and it'd be like the lads the lads, the boys, would come around for like a birthday party or something, a sleepover,
Yeah.
and then we'd like stay up until like 12 o'clock, and then see some tits and bush, and it, and
That is so funny.
it was like, have you ever heard of this one? It was called Adventures of a Window Cleaner's Best Friend or something.
I've not heard that or seen it.
Okay, yeah.
No.
So interesting
I'm gonna
concept.
have to write that down.
Yeah. So basically, it wasn't the Adventures of a Window Cleaner, but it was his best mate because uh he was like subbing for his mate who was on holiday or something. So he's like, "Oh, I'll go and do the windows for you." And so then they climb up these ladders, and then he'd see these women like getting changed and stuff. So it's essentially a peeping Tom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they'd end up, I don't know if they'd invite him in or like, I don't know, fairly certain it was like consensual, but like way back when, do you know what I mean? Might have been a little
Yeah.
bit
No,
like,
literally.
he was just like weird.
Yeah, that's the I went to the Sex Musician musician. I went to the Sex Musician. I went to the Sex Museum in Prague this year, and I went to and at one of the rooms is like the black and white porn, like the first ever porn, and that was exactly the same, like with the peeping Tom through the window, watching it all happen, and then wanking through like the little door hole as well. You know, it's just it's crazy to think that. I mean, we've had porn forever, you know, it's just been in different ways, but also what a strange idea. But
Yeah.
you know, to have a peeping Tom in everyone.
I guess it was like, yeah, like just look. It's I suppose it's fantasies, isn't it? So the top sort of person that might be doing that job will be
Yeah.
like, oh, what if I see someone getting changed? Might something happen?
Yeah. It makes me worried about my window cleaners.
Yeah, always have them shut. Grandma,
Yes.
what did you learn from
Can you not
interviewing
call
your
me
night?
that?
Talk dirty to me. What did you what did you learn from interviewing your 90-year-old grandma about sex?
Oh my god, she was an absolute legend. Love her so much. Yeah, a lot realizing that, like, obviously a lot of people think that, you know, they don't want to talk about it with their grandma, but like they've done all the same things. They've gone through the exact same age as I have, as I am, you know, and so, and they have the same dilemmas and the same dramatic, you know, situationships at school and gossip, you know. Obviously they had like a completely different they couldn't access it as easily as we could. But yeah, I think I realized how much they are human still, you know, although there are
They were
grandparents.
once
They were
young.
once, yeah, exactly. And also I think I realized how much romance has changed. You know, my grandma was saying it's kind of a shame, I suppose, now that it was kind of really exciting, and there was such a big romance element of it, because you had no idea what was going to be like underneath their clothes, whereas like we know, you know, we have such an access to it now that we can see it whenever we like. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that, and also we've got this online dating and you know, just texting, and a lot of people just take pictures and send it, you know, which is so fine if that's what you want to do, and great for you, but it just means that maybe, yeah, the romance side has gone, which I think is quite sad. And the excitement of it all, and the stuff you don't know, and that you're excited to learn and experience. Yeah, and I realize how much, like, my grandparents' relationship um was incredible, and they were best friends until the day that my granddad sadly passed, which was actually a couple of months after I filmed that interview. So was so thankful to do it then, so I had you know, an amazing, I could speak about it with my grandma and it'd be fresh. Whereas now I don't think I'll get the same conversation if I was to do it again.
Yeah, wow. I'm sorry to hear about your grandpa.
Ah, thank you. It's okay.
Yeah, I've got I got one left. He's 90 actually.
Oh wow,
And
that's incredible.
I did broach the idea of possibly coming on the show, and he wasn't like super thrilled. But I don't know. I might follow it up. You know, it was just a kind of fleeting comment over the dinner table, but like
Mhm.
he's amazing, and like he's like he's got so much vigor, and like
Mm.
he's dead fit and healthy. And but I feel like he's got like loads of wisdom, which like I want to
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
get out
What
of him.
what did he do with his life?
So he was born well, the same as your nana, I'd imagine, grandma. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
Was it 19? Whatever. There's at the beginning of the war, and
yeah.
then he went through school. Then he went and did his national service.
Oh wow.
So that was back in the time when you know that they had like parts of the British Empire still. So
Yeah, yeah,
he was stationed in Hong Kong,
yeah. Mhm.
and I think he was out there for I don't know, like 2-3 years, something like that. And then he got a job working in nearby us. We have a factory. It's actually been decommissioned, but it's GlaxoSmithKline, which is like drugs.
Yeah.
My granddad made drugs.
Yeah, drug dealer.
And it was interesting actually, like proper tangent. We'll come back to your conversation with your grandma, but like I would sometimes think like I'm quite careful around like breathing stuff in, I'm a bit OCD about like if you know someone sprays deodorant next to me in the changing room, I'll give them the fucking death stare, and I'm kind of like because I'm like, what's that doing in my lungs, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I heard, and we were chatting about him when he was doing his work, and of course, way back when he would be working with all these chemicals and pouring stuff up, and all these fumes
Mm.
going everywhere. And he was like, there was no health and safety back then, but he was like, he said he always used to put his face over here, and he would wear his jumper over his mouth, and he would always open up the windows and stand by the windows. And he was like, but all of his mates didn't do that, and they thought it was like like OCD for doing it.
Yeah.
They've all passed and had cancer and
Wow.
stuff like that. So it was a little bit for me of being like, okay, like there is something in that.
Yeah.
Like just, obviously you've got to live your life or whatever, but just being like little things where you're like,
Mm.
okay, do I want to breathe in like that exhaust smoke that's just come out of that car? Should I put my windows up? Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, bit of a tangent there. We asked him about my
That's so
granddad,
interesting
and
though. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but yeah, he had 4 kids, and retired pretty early. He retired at 55.
Oh, amazing.
So and just kept himself. He just walks everywhere. He's like,
Yeah.
that's his thing. Like I would like him to do a bit of strength training, as well. Just but what he's doing is working pretty well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, my other grandma, gosh, she walks and goes on hikes and literally leaves my granddad at home and goes off and just does like 100 miles still, like it's mental, and goes for 3 days just walking.
Wow.
That she's like massively into it. And I'm just thinking that's how you're gonna kill yourself, just by doing that too much. Like forget about the old age. It's gonna be your walking that's gonna get to you.
Yeah, I mean, my mum worries about my granddad because he doesn't have a mobile phone. They tried to get him a mobile phone, and he was just like, nah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like, and then like, and he'll go out for hours around the lakes on his own, like getting on
Wow.
buses and then going up mountains
Oh,
or
that's quite
whatever.
scary. Jesus.
Yeah, but I'm like, but I said to my mum, I was like, well, you've got to realize, yes, in theory, going out without a mobile phone and stuff is
Yeah.
dangerous, but
Mhm.
it's him doing that that actually keeps him healthy,
Yeah.
right? So like
Yeah, and
you
enjoying
kind
his last
of
bit of life.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, but back to your grandma. So when did the idea of having her on like first come to you?
I don't know. I think as soon as I started the podcast, they were really I'm so lucky to have grandparents that were fascinated with what I do and always wanting to know, you know, um who I was interviewing, what I was doing. And I think my other grandma, she watches my podcast religiously because she knows how to work a computer, whereas the grandma that came on doesn't quite know how to. Yeah, and I wanted them actually both on at the same time because they're best friends. They went to boarding school together. Um, and I really wanted them both at the same time. And then one of my grandmas said no. And I kind of thought, oh, that means the other one's out because I thought that, they'll only do it together or not at all. And then couldn't believe when my other grandma was like, okay, I'll do it. And just thought that was amazing because I knew that I have such an amazing relationship with my grandparents. We talk about a lot and I get a lot of advice from them and even yeah, I find it sad that my grandpa passed away as well because he was great at chatting to and getting advice and having a laugh and a joke. But yeah, so I knew yeah, I knew that at some point they're obviously not going to be around anymore. And I felt like there was a lot of people around me that didn't have grandparents and weren't able to ask the questions that I've always had about them growing up and their childhood. And I think grandparents love talking about their childhood as well because a lot of the time they forget or they think that now the generations moves on and they're not interested in what I used to do, as a grandma. So yeah, I felt honored the fact that she wanted to come on the show and it meant that I could ask all my questions and I know a little bit more about myself. And I know where I've come from and my grandma's amazing, so I must be too. But yeah.
I love that. I think in our like Western culture, we view the elderly totally different,
Mhm.
and in cultures like in the East, like the elders are like just viewed totally differently, and quite often they will live with
Yeah.
their children until later in life, won't they?
Mm.
And I do feel like I wish we had more respect for our elderly population, because they just have like so much intrinsic wisdom through
Yeah.
being around for so long. And it's almost like we on the most part ship them off to a nursing home, rather than. And but I love what you did there by, like, you know re-emphasizing the importance of speaking with your elders, and that
Yeah.
they have so much to share.
Mm. No,
um
absolutely. Yeah, I find it crazy the fact that every person's culture is so different. And even just within our own society, some people have no contact with their grandparents because something's happened down the line, and then I've got a lot of people that are from India and their grandparents are the main people in the household and anything their grandparents say they will do and you kind of bow down to them because they're of superior level, which I also think like that's amazing also. Um, but it's interesting how it changes. Um, but also it's whether or not that's also a good thing because I feel like everyone should be on the same level as well at some point because views change within our society and sometimes the elderly view on some things they're they haven't gone with the times and the
uh-huh.
fact that now people's views are changing um and sometimes grandparents are still a little bit racist. Not that mine are, but, some others. So, and that needs to change, obviously. Um, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, and I think of the some of the things that my grandparents used to come out with when they were
Mm,
alive, and I would challenge them on them loads when I was younger. And I must admit, as I'm getting older, I'm kind of like seeing what they were meaning, like in
yeah.
and sometimes it's just how they deliver it,
Mhm. Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, but actually the underlying thing that they're saying isn't necessarily wrong.
Yeah,
Like, you know, when it's even things like, I don't know, a different, like saying colored people instead of black people or
yeah,
whatever, and it's not
yeah.
because they just don't know like
It's not
what is the
yeah.
acceptable term, and obviously
Mm,
it's so fluid on how these terms like change
yeah.
throughout generations.
Mm,
So yeah,
absolutely.
but one of the interesting things when I was listening to your conversation with your grandma is you mentioned Naked Attraction.
Yeah.
She described that show as repulsive.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the show? And my question to you is, how would you view a romantic interest if you knew that they've been on it?
Yes. So, I don't think Naked Attraction is repulsive whatsoever. I mean, it's one of those shows that is remarkable. I think it's incredible that people want to go on it. And I completely salute it. I mean, I wouldn't do that, but not because I don't think it's great and that you should do it, but just because I know that I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it. I think it's an amazing show. The fact that they've come up with the idea, I think that's great. And also for people to, the fact that bodies are so different. And I think it's important for someone to watch it and realize that, oh, hang on, I've got the same, as that. And I didn't realize someone else had that. So I think that's great. Obviously it's one of those things that it is a funny show. Obviously, I think uh, you've got to understand that by going on the fact that a lot of people are going to view it. But uh, again, if someone went on it, I personally wouldn't care the fact that they're gone on it, and I would date them. But as
Mm,
long as they had like good intentions for going on it, um, yeah, I think it's brave. I mean, totally crazy and amazing, and weird in such a great way. Um, yeah, yeah. What are your thoughts?
did Lindsay tell you I'd been on it?
Um, yes.
Yeah, I was trying to figure it out from your response
Uh, well,
then.
not yeah, but not like I don't know much at all. But I obviously have that same view. Like I don't think
Mm,
I mean in the line of work I can't exactly go and be like that's awful. I think it's amazing. And I mean I just have so many questions for you because I think that's amazing. And also couldn't remember that at all until you asked the question and I was like,
mm,
because I was actually going to bring up Naked Attraction when we're talking about porn, and I was like,
mhm.
you have shows like Naked Attraction now, completely forgetting the whole fact that you'd actually gone on the show. Because of what I was because obviously we were talking about sex and why I'm coming on the show and blah blah blah.
Mhm.
And yeah, but how amazing! But tell me more.
Yeah, it was coming up like maybe 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
Listeners to the show will be familiar with the story. Um, but yeah, it's funny. It feels like it does feel like a different person.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, I look now I look so different. I've got like long curly hair. I'm like really skinny. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I was like vegan at the time. Um, but I still love that guy. I was just like a very different. I've been on like a bit of like a journey for the last like 4, 5 years,
Mm.
and that was just like a little stepping stone. I don't think like I wouldn't do it now, and the idea of doing it now like cringes me out. I
Okay.
wouldn't go as far as to say that I regret it.
Yeah.
Um, that was just like something that I felt I needed to do at the time.
Yeah.
Um,
But I
yeah.
think I think that's great. I mean, what a good story to say that you've done it. I mean, and also like to be honest, I think the rate in which obviously it's a popular show, but I don't think anyone remembers who's who or whatever. Like
Mm,
I watched the show and I wouldn't know that you've gone on it. Do you know? And I've probably seen you on it.
yeah, I
So
think was it series 11?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
See,
write this.
see. I'll send you it later. Because I had the girl that I was on it with.
Yeah.
Um, I had her on, and we did an interview
Oh wow.
because she's like a little bit in the public eye. She like does some stuff on TV and that. So yeah, but yeah, it was
And how did it work out? Did you date someone? Did you go on a date? No.
so I was in a pod
Mhm.
and I got picked and we went on this date and but it just didn't work out. Like, just yeah.
Is it a very
Was it?
manufactured show or not really? I mean, can it be
Yeah, very
manufactured?
much. So when they go on the date afterwards,
Yeah.
um, you may know this from like your work in like production or whatever,
Mm.
but it's all staged. Like they're not
Yeah.
actually in a bar. It's like they're all extras.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
which was really bizarre because I wasn't
That's
expecting
really
that.
yeah.
And like you walk in and there's just like these people like surrounding the edge of the room, just being like, and like just
Yeah.
like
That's so
it's a bit
weird.
like being in like have you seen the Truman Show?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
that like but yeah, it was yeah, it was wild. But I think it was strange how afterwards I reflected on one of like my biggest fears was being naked in public, but
Yeah.
I didn't realize that at the time, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm
No.
like, that's
No.
kind of mental.
What was
But
the application process like?
it's dead easy.
Oh,
Like
really?
so basically I was watching that program Hunted on Channel 4.
So good. I'm
Yeah,
obsessed with that program.
great show. I haven't watched it in ages actually, but great show. And the credits come on at the end and it said, if you like to take part, head to channel4.com/ whatever it is. So I'm like, yeah, I think I would like to do this. And so I go on the website and then it says we're no longer taking applicants because I was watching on catch up. It was like 2 years
Yeah.
old, like absolute granddad moment. And but like consider our other shows, and one of which was Naked Attraction. Now the response that my nervous system gave me upon seeing that was just like, oh, like definitely not going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I was like, ooh.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's the sign that it's like something that I should do.
Yeah.
I never enjoyed the show. Like girl that I used to see, like she used to watch it all the time. And I'd watch it. Never, I honestly, I never liked it.
Oh god. Did you go back and watch your episode, or you do not speak anymore? Because imagine
yeah.
she'd seen you being like, "Oh my god."
What? The girl that was
Oh,
seeing.
you think,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. She loved it. Like
That's so
she was
funny.
obsessed with like yeah it coming out. It's funny actually. Like all like the word must have got around.
Mm,
Right? So like all of my exes, more or less, or people that I'd seen in the past, kind of like got in touch afterwards and was like, it's in the
that's
show.
so funny.
And like I hadn't spoken to them for years.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was I saying? And then yeah, so I applied and then it was like really quick actually. And then before I knew it, I was on uh I was in my other office trying to set up my camera because, of course, if you're setting up a camera for
Yeah.
Zoom calls, you're optimizing for like landscape,
Mhm.
torso. I
Yeah.
could be naked under here, you wouldn't know. But that is the first time I had to like go like right there and like optimize for full length because they wanted me to do a naked Zoom call.
Oh god, this is
Yeah.
hilarious.
So then I'm like there talking to these two girls, like, and like chatting or whatever, and then they found out that I played guitar.
Mm.
So they asked me to do some air guitar on the thing. So like next minute and they're playing. They're like, what do you want to play along to? We'll play you some music through like the speakers. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, bit of AC/DC, that'll do. And so they put on Back in Black, and then I'm just there, like literally rocking out with my cock out. And
That is so good. Wow. They probably just did that for their own pleasure.
they
Imagine the
loved
amount
it.
of applicants they had. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was that, and then got accepted. Went down to Manchester, and it was so much fun. Like it was class, and I remember we were there. It was the first recording that they'd done that series. So
Wow.
like they record like blocks, don't they? And then they
Yeah.
schedule the episodes afterwards. They're not doing it every single week. So because of that, they had to like set up all the camera lightings and stuff like that. So me and these other four guys were behind the pods, and if anyone's not watched a Naked Attraction, they're like these kind of like slightly translucent colored pods that like that have like a retracting kind of blind that raises up and down, and we're in behind those, and the studio is freezing cold, and obviously we're all in the nip, and we were there while they were adjusting the lighting and stuff like that for 3 hours before we'd even filmed anything.
That is crazy.
But it's funny because at the time I was in the middle of doing like this ice bath sort of cold water dip challenge that I'd set myself this challenge to do 3 months, 3 minutes every day for 3 months. And I was actually raising money for the local hospice. One of my granddads had just passed away, and did another video describing this actually the other week, solo episode, link in the description. And at that time though, because I'd been doing the cold water thing, I was really resilient to the cold. And all these other guys were like they were stood there. And of course, like what happens when a guy gets cold,
Yeah.
and and I was just like totally relaxed. And I honestly think that thing alone helped me win the date, because I was able to be so calm
Yeah.
like during that. And I remember like there's like this other guy like next to me, and they're all there like trying to get it going.
So
And then the producer like comes over the microphone system, and he goes, just to let you know, guys, we can see your silhouette through the blind. And because they're all there just like giving it Wigan on the old, so
Oh my god. But that's so bad on production though. I feel like they should have had something for you or
yeah, well, they had like they had robes and stuff, but because they were trying to set up the lighting and stuff, obviously we needed to be in like exactly how we're going to be. And yeah, but it was so much fun. It was great. And people have to make their own decisions on whether they want to go on a show like that, but I think for confidence,
it's great. Yeah.
yeah. And the place I was at the time, like I was going through a difficult time in my life, and I think I just wanted something that wasn't like the struggles I was going through. Like my business was failing, and been through a breakup, and you know what I mean. It was just like I just kind of wanted something to do, and yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I'll laugh, and I won't tell the full story because I'll be here all but it is a good story actually. Like I was out the other week and with a fairly new group of friends, and they'd not heard the story, and so I went through it all, and everyone's on tenterhooks. Like, do you know what I mean? It's good fun. So yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. Oh, I wanna know so much more. But how are you finding dating now? Like is it been a struggle or not really?
Um I think I'd be lying if I said it hasn't been a struggle.
Yeah.
I've been single for coming up 4 years,
Mhm.
and obviously I've dated along the way.
Yeah.
Nothing longer than maybe 6 weeks, I don't think.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I'm in a place where like I'm pretty at peace with the whole dating thing at the moment. Like I used to struggle a lot more with like having a bit of an anxious attachment style. So I would
Mhm.
be like talking to, I'm sure you're familiar with attachment and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
I'm like, I would be talking to a girl, and then I would be kind of like, oh shit, she's not replied, and I'd be like thinking about it all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
time. And but like, doing a lot of therapy, doing a lot of stuff on the show, to be fair, like with attachment experts, and then doing my own solo episodes and like journaling about the process.
Yeah.
Have come to a place where I'm much more confident with uh with myself. For instance, like I was talking to a girl recently, we were getting on really well. We're about to meet up. I'd had like 2 phone calls, one of which lasted like 2 hours. Like we were getting along so well. And then just kind of like the cold feet thing,
Yeah.
and which is pretty common. And I think in the past I would have been like, oh, it's because of me. It's like because I'm too old, or I'm whatever. I'm not jacked enough, or I don't have enough money, or I'm
Yeah.
too sensitive, or whatever. Like fill in the blank of insecurity. And now I'm in a place where I can look at it and objectively and go, okay, like okay, all right, maybe 10% might be about me, but like
Mhm.
90% of it is her. Like she's not really or whatever, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
And I think I believe, like, when they do, like, oh, it's her loss, his loss, or whatever. I think
Yeah.
it's a big thing to be able to, if you can believe that that is literally the case, their loss,
Yeah.
then I think you've cracked it
Mm.
in terms of like self confidence. Because like now I do believe it. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
fucking, like it's definitely her loss.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, definitely.
so
But then now I'm thinking about the people that obviously, like, you were very lucky to win the date, but the people that haven't been picked, I wonder if that's a thing that they'll then continue to be in an extremely not body confident place. And that's the
yeah,
only thing I then worry about, thinking what it does to the people that, yeah, have different bodies.
it's interesting actually. Like, so naked attraction. So when I was on it, when we did the first round of the girl like going round everyone,
Mm.
she came to me last and was kind of like, "Meh,"
Mm.
like didn't really comment anything. And I remember being like, I'm out.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm like, but I remember thinking to myself at that point, like, I'm cool. Like, if I go out now, like I've had so much fun,
yeah.
and this doesn't like, who knows what effect that might have had,
Yeah.
on me. But I remember at the time thinking I'm just so proud of myself for doing the thing. Like I
Yeah,
think we
yeah,
should focus on like the action rather than the outcome. And the
yeah,
action is you did
definitely.
a confident thing.
Mm,
Um,
absolutely.
but yeah, I think we used to like, we had a bit of a WhatsApp group with the other lads, and we kind of used to keep in touch a little bit, and like, and then it sort of like started to fizzle out, and then I don't know. I think it did get a little bit weird like after the show came out. Um, you know, and so yeah, and the guy that I was with at the end, like second place, if you will, again, I was just like, well, I'm happy to get this far. He's clearly going to win. Because he was like this Adonis, like proper like jacked guy.
Yeah.
But I think just it's one of them where like, and sometimes I need to remind myself, because I can get sometimes a little bit insecure that,
Yeah.
like, you know, I'm not the most jacked person in the room, like, unless I go to a darts tournament. And like, it's like remembering, like, at that point in time, I was like dead skinny and stuff. And yet
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
won the day over the big strong guy because I was like funny or whatever, or confident, or, you know, and, but yeah, I sorry, I took that away from your original point, but I guess what I'm saying is, like, it's like anything, isn't it? You can take it two ways. Like, they should look at it as in, wow, I had the confidence to go on that show.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
most people wouldn't be able to do that.
Mm.
Um, and, you know, and in fairness, the guy that got voted off first, like, he's like a very good looking guy
Mm.
and had like this massive wang. So he'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
that's
it's
so
because he had
funny.
piercings and she didn't like piercings. So,
Yeah.
but
Mm.
I'm like, I think he'll be doing all right. I mean, you're looking at me, right? I'm the guy that won the date. I haven't had sex in 12 months.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah, yeah.
like, you know, so like I seen someone the other day, and I met someone the other day, and they're like, "Oh, I bet you're a right slayer, you Jace." And I was like, I'm sorry to ruin the dream for you, but
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it
it's,
is one of those things that I wonder, like, obviously you see the bodies that you're not so keen on naked attraction. But I wonder if, like, as soon as you get to know them and then you get into bed, you probably, I mean, I don't know anyone that's looked at something and gone, "Oh God, right, I'm not going there. I'm gonna walk out now." Like, you kind of just
Mhm.
go through with it. So I feel like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I think I don't know. Like, for me, when I watch Naked Attraction, I'm like, "Meh, meh." I like, you know, and then even with, like, I'll see the fanny, I'll see the tits, and then I'm like, but then I'll see the face.
yeah,
I'm like, oh, she's gorgeous. Do you
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? And
yeah,
it's like, but if you see the body without the face, all
mm,
you do is you judge on, like, oh, and like them boobs aren't like perfect, or what,
yeah, yeah,
like perfectly.
no,
But
literally,
then, yeah, and so it poses an interesting question, and that, I
mm,
guess that's what the show is all about. I
yeah,
don't find it sexual
mm, yeah,
somehow.
yeah,
It's just a body, you
yeah, yeah,
know. One of the most common things that guys ask me about when I was on it is they say, "Were you not worried you're gonna get hard on?" And I was like, "No." I'm like, "What?" Like, I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, "That is not the time or the place."
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Yeah, it is interesting. And how do you feel now about not having had sex for 12 months? Does it bother you or do you not really think about it?
I think it depends on, like, how confident I'm feeling within myself. I
Mm,
think probably a few months ago, like, I went through a little bit of a period of, well, I say a little bit of a period. I think I had one day of posting something on Instagram about TRT,
mm,
um, because some guy had, like, done a video saying that he's not on testosterone, and he's like ridiculously jacked. He's like 59,
mm.
and I'm like, and I sent it to like a load of people who know their shit in the industry. Like another like subject I do is like fitness and stuff, and they were like 100% he's on gear. And I'm like, so I did a post about, like, saying how, like, I don't think there's anything wrong if you're on these
Yeah,
things, but if by you showing your body looking amazing
yeah,
and not admitting that you're on it,
mm.
like, if you are lying, like, that's totally not cool.
Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah, yeah.
like, the rest of us just feel like, "Oh, right, so it's just our bad
Yeah, yeah.
genetics, it's our fault, or we're not training enough." And it's
Mm,
like, for those who are trying really hard and
yeah.
stuff, and yeah, so I posted about it, but then, you know what the internet's like or whatever, and, like, people are like, everyone's like, "Oh, like, you okay?" Like, don't, I was like, "I'm fine." Like, it was one post
Yeah,
where I
yeah,
was just kinda like, I was like, "Huh," you know, like, and I was thinking like, "Oh, maybe I should start taking TRT. But
Yeah.
you know, because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like I was thinking about it the other day, and it's like, you know, how many girls get Botox or you know,
Yeah.
implants and all this sort of stuff, but everyone is in this like fucking arms race
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
like
yeah,
stay ahead with it. And you go, right, okay, so and a few guys message me actually, like, oh yeah, I'm on it or whatever, and you're like, fucking hell, so he's on it, he's on it, he's on it, he's on it.
yeah, yeah.
And you're like, am I playing with like a worse deck
Yeah.
if I don't like use that? So what was your original question? Sorry. I feel like you're podcasting me now. You do realize this has happened. So
Yeah, how you feel about not having sex for that long?
fine. Yeah, I think like it would be nice. Like what guy doesn't want more sex? But I think, or women. Sorry, I'm very sexist of me. I didn't mean that. But you know, and
Oh,
but
would you be
actually,
nervous to go back to it?
no.
No, no. See, I feel like that would be me if like I then get all in my head about it again.
Oh
And
no. Form is temporary, class is permanent. Yeah, I think one a line that I've been using actually in the online dating has been like let's swap red flags. Tell me your red flags. Like, and we kind of go back and forth or whatever. And it's kind of
okay.
it's a fun little exercise, because basically what I've learned is everything that I purportedly label a red flag
Yeah.
can actually be viewed as a green flag, depend on the person
Right,
or
go on.
your perspective.
I know I'm on your podcast, but now I just want to know what's your red flags then?
So that would be one of them. So like my red flag, I've not had sex in 12 months.
Okay.
So, and then the amount of girls that have been like, because I didn't mean it as being like, oh, look at me. Do you know what I mean? I didn't mean it like that. I was like, genuinely, like, I think that's a red flag, or I worry that it's a red flag. Because, oh, what the fucking, what's wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
But like all of the girls I've spoken to, like, that's not a red flag. Like, it's the opposite, because probably they've been used to being with like super promiscuous men, and if they're wanting to get with someone like long term,
Yeah.
you know, and it's because, well, I don't drink, so like I look after myself, I focus on like my business, my podcast and stuff, and kind of, you know, so I guess like I'm quite stable in that. So if you are looking for a long-term relationship, I would say pretty good catch.
Yeah.
Drop me a DM. Drop me a DM. little advert there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's like, and even that, like, another one with my supposed red flags would be like, I don't drink, which was something I would feel more insecure about way back when.
Yeah.
But now I don't, because I'm just like, I just don't drink. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's definitely more positive than negative. Trust me.
That's good.
So yeah, and I think, and I can still go out, like I still go out and have fun, and I'll like partake in other things, shall we say? So, which has been like a bit of a fairly new thing, which has been kind of cool. So yeah, what are your red flags?
Someone that doesn't
having a podcast.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Is that when I was, you know, on the dating profiles, and it would be, you know, the fact I've got to tell someone at one point that I've got a podcast about sex and relationships, and that's kind of what I do, which can always be taken in lots of different ways. What are my red flags? Not having any social media. I know that sounds ridiculous because that's a good thing, but I find it really bizarre. I'm like, what are you hiding from? Like, I want to be able to see, like, that. Like, do you not want to see what's happening with the world? Even though it's a good
So
thing that
you
don't
don't go on social media?
No, I do, but I would that's the red flag I have of someone else.
Ah, right, right,
Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah,
see where
yeah, yeah.
you're going though. Sorry, you want to know what my red flags are personally.
Yeah, but interesting that so a red flag in a guy is someone who doesn't have social media.
Yeah. I mean, but also I would say red flag for me is like taking a mirror selfie. I don't know what I'm worried that you've got few mirror
No, no,
selfies.
no. I got out of that a long time ago.
But like
A lot of
I
time on
yeah.
researching fucking Tinder optimization. Like you start to realize some patterns, like the gym selfie is not good. So we don't. I'll
Yeah.
sometimes take a picture in the gym, but I'll stand it up,
Yeah, okay.
and
Yeah.
it's totally different. It's
Mm.
totally different because like the mirror or whatever, and it's like, all right, it's still a little bit lame, but whatever. I'm looking at like
Yeah.
got a bit of a pump on, so
Yeah. But also I'd say, well, I know you go to the gym and it's your fitness thing and that's great, but for me, I'm just like, I wouldn't be able to hack if my partner was a religious gym goer.
Mm.
I wouldn't be able to hack it. I
But define that. Like, are you saying like bodybuilder, like constantly looking at themselves in the mirror, kind of, or is it just because if someone's going to the gym all the time, like you want to have a different, like, what is it about that?
just because it will make me feel shit about myself, thinking, God, I hate exercise. I mean, I obviously do it, and I go to the gym every now and again, and like if a partner like will appreciate that they do their own exercise, that's great. You've got to keep fit, But it's just the fact that I don't want gym controlling their life and my life, because I think, but maybe that's part of me being body conscious about my own self, which I've
Mm,
always had. So that might be just one of those things where I think I love eating, I love drinking, and I want to go out and do that, and I don't want my partner to be like, you you've got to think about what you're eating today and what you're drinking, and that I've got to be at the gym at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. And
mm,
that to me, I wouldn't be able to hack. But I'm not saying it's not a problem at all. Like I think it's amazing that people are like that and want to do that. But I just think to live the same life I live and for us to have anything in common, um, yeah, it just wouldn't work. But that's just
yeah.
my preference and that's my lifestyle.
Hmm.
But don't get me wrong, like I like to think I try and go to the gym twice, 3 times a week, and I've just started running. I've done 2 runs and I'm excited
Nice.
for it. Um, so that's, so don't get me wrong, I love, um, yeah, I love some sort of exercise. I like to feel healthy and stuff, but
Mm.
yeah,
I
but
think,
I'm,
yeah, and I'm with you on that because you need to have like shared values. I
mm,
guess one of the things that I've kind of learnt is that you don't have to be doing the same things, and also that if that other person isn't necessarily going to judge you for not having the same
mm,
like approach to things like that, depends on like what level of like
yeah,
uh emotional maturity they're at.
yeah,
Like I was the last girl that I was dating, like wasn't that much into the gym or whatever, and I must admit I was kind of like, I was like, oh, do I have time for this, like
yeah,
because of all my training and stuff. And I was quite surprised on how well it did actually work
yeah.
in terms of like doing both things. And but yeah, anyways.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what you asked me what my red flags are. I'm trying to think what
Mhm.
um I would say mine is. I'm definitely I've got like lists and tick lists, and I feel like I'm probably very the problem with me is that I'm judgmental with a partner that I choose, which is really bad because like to think I'm not a judgmental person, but when it comes to me, I feel like my life's a bit chaotic, and I have high expectations of what I need and want. Um, yeah, but what do I do that's annoying? I'm messy. That's probably a red flag. I value my calendar like more than I should. I love a calendar. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. What do I do that's ridiculous? Um, I'm not sure. I'm probably hypocritical when it comes to certain things as well. You know, not that I mean to be,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just like, yeah, I say, oh, please hang your towel up, and then I end up doing the same thing or something like that, you know. Yeah, I feel like that's a red flag.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like duality, isn't it? Like, well, like, you know, two things could be true at the same time.
Mm,
But I don't even really like the term red flag. Like,
mm,
I don't know, like, because when you really like, when anyone like says they're red flags, you're kind of like, well, you know, you can
yeah.
look at it two ways. You know, there's light and dark to everything. You
Mm,
know, and your red flag might be like because you like your calendar or your lists or whatever, but that also
mm,
makes you like a good business person,
yeah,
creator,
yeah.
like however you would describe yourself.
Mm,
So, like, yeah, everything has. That's the take home for me. Like with all this stuff, it's like, what is it about your red flag that is green?
mm. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
like, be
Yeah.
aware of that. Like, and then just yeah.
Mm. No, I
S-
agree. I agree.
So the burning question is, are you able to walk past a fruit bowl at your nana's house while keeping a straight face?
Definitely not. I avoid fruit at all costs when I go there. No, no, I do. I love a piece of fruit as well, and she's always offering me apples. So, and I hadn't thought twice, but I felt like I probably should be thinking twice now when she offers me something. But yeah, very funny. Um, yeah,
Would you
but
like to explain the significance of the fruit reference to the audience?
yeah. So my grandma decided to tell me that she has used a banana in the bedroom. Not exactly sure why or what for. But yeah, and that was about all she gave me. And then proceeded to tell me that she did buy dildo from Ann Summers and she doesn't know where it's gone. So she thinks that she might find it one day, which is another conversation that we had. Um,
You might find the bottom of the biscuit tin. Oh, it's the dildo.
So funny. No, it was so funny because even like after doing the interview, we've obviously done so much together since, and like every now and again she goes, "Oh, do you not want to ask me more questions or follow up questions?" You know, and she got drunk once and was like, "Oh, do you not want to ask me? Do you not want to ask me more?" And about that banana or about the orgasm. And I'm like, "Oh, grandma," and she's like desperate now to tell me more. But we just haven't been able to. But I'm sure we will at
Just
some point.
get a
We've gone
pissed
into certain
get a pissed on the pod.
yeah, we've gone into certain stuff. But yeah, very funny, very funny. I love her.
If you're anything like me, you're probably good at starting habits, but fail to stick to them over the long term. There's probably one or two, whether that be going to the gym or taking the dog for a walk, but struggle to maintain others around career, relationship, or life goals. If you're a long-term listener of the podcast, this won't be the first time you've heard me talk about habits and leveraging public accountability. That's why I created InDeep, the tool that helps you build healthy habits and stick to them. After creating your free account, you'll be given your own personal public profile link, which you can share with your friends, your family, coach, or followers. And when someone clicks that link, you'll be given a real-time notification that someone is watching your habits. I can't tell you how much of a motivator it is when you're stuck in a procrastination cycle and this little eyeball pops up with a number next to it. My productivity has gone through the roof since I started using it. It's that effective. Luckily for you, I'm giving away 100 free VIP months to my podcast listeners. There's no credit card required. Head to indeep.com/podcast. That's deep with two eyes, INDIIP.com/podcast, or follow the links in the episode description below. Let's start crushing our habits today. If someone was looking for a long-term relationship, what in your view is the optimal amount of time one should wait before getting together in the bedroom?
Oh God, to be honest, I don't know whether there's an answer that is right. or wrong, you know. But I generally think maybe, yeah, I feel like there's no right or wrong. But for me, I'd personally say I'd wait till the third or fourth date. But maybe is that one of my green flags?
Yeah, green flag.
Yeah, but maybe that's, again, I mean, third date, that could be also very soon. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely think you don't know what someone's intentions are, you know, and it would be a shame if it was like sleeping on the first date and then they're done with you. I think that would be a shame, but you never know. I mean, it could really work out. I mean, I've had one night stands and I've absolutely loved it. But then again, there was never an opportunity to go on a date because I was away. But yeah, so it is interesting. But I know my partner now. It was on the third or fourth date that we slept together. Maybe it was the fourth date in the end. But yeah, but I remember going on the date thinking, oh God, like the first date thinking, oh God, I don't know whether he's expecting something, because I wasn't used to dating.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and I wasn't, you know, sure on how I felt about dating and what the protocols were. And I was like so scared for him to kiss me, and I was thinking, please don't kiss me. I didn't even want to kiss on the first date. So yeah. So I mean, it's different for everyone. But I was pleased because I had all my previous things for that past year had been, I was away traveling, and it was just sleeping obviously with random people. And so I wasn't quite sure on how it would be when, you know, on actually dating someone. And I didn't want to sleep around, but I didn't know what the protocol was and what they'd expect from me. So yeah.
I never, yeah, it's interesting about that almost like presumption of after a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Because I remember like dating someone once, and I've always just got hard and fast rule of just like 3 dates minimum.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean like 3 dates and it's the deal, the deal is sealed. But like for me, it's just kind of like, it's a good like rule of thumb to be like,
Yeah.
you know.
And also, it's very important, though. It's very important to have sex before you enter a relationship, or you know, because I think it's like, if it doesn't work, if there's no spark, then I don't know if
Yeah,
it can actually work.
yeah, for sure.
You know. So yeah, I think, but there's lots of, I've got like loads of protocols actually before we actually become exclusive, is that, or in a relationship, that it's very much like, I want to, yeah, sleep with you to meet friends and family, and for me to see you drunk. That's one of my things, because yeah, being drunk changes someone, and if you're not on my level, then like it can go wrong. So I think that's very important as well.
Yeah.
That I like to put a partner in an awkward position. I felt sorry for my boyfriend now, because I put him into like, he met my brother before, like he met my brother without me. Like, I think that was like the 6th date, but not with me, it was with my brother, because there was an event and I was like, you should go. So he went, and I love seeing how someone's going to socially interact, because I'm very sociable and they need to be able to, you know, meet random people, and you know, so that was very much like me throwing him in the deep end and see how he'll do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
So I think yeah, that's definitely another red flag of mine as well, that I like to throw people in the deep end.
No, well, I think it's, yeah, I think it's a good idea. Like, totally. I think what one I heard, which would be a good one to add to the list, is cook together.
Yeah,
See
that's a
if
good
you can
idea.
make a meal
Yeah.
together. And I should have done that with like my last long term, because we were a fucking nightmare in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Like, and it really was the highlight of everything that was wrong with the relationship.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know, that
yeah.
power imbalance and kind of,
Yeah, that's such a good
you
point.
know,
I
are you
wish I'd
able
done
to
that.
collaborate?
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I'd done that with my boyfriend now.
Have
I
you
think that,
cooked together?
yeah, 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 but he thinks I'm not great at cooking. So I should have known beforehand. Yeah.
Although in fairness, you know, you know, I had a very long, successful relationship um, in my late teens, 20s, and I don't think we ever cooked together. I
Mm.
think it was like she cooked most of the nights, and then at the weekend, I'm like, right, get out.
Yeah.
And that
Mm.
kind of words, I
Yeah, yeah.
guess. So
Yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
mean, I don't mind it. I love being cooked for, so that's great.
yeah. I was interested to learn that you work in music production.
Mhm.
Other than like microphones and tech, like what is the overlap, the Venn diagram there with the work you do in sex education?
Yeah, so I run a studio with my brother, which is a music and podcast studio. So that'd be the way that it kind of overlaps in that sense of what I do. Is that kind of the question you're asking, or is in like specifically sex education and music?
Kind of was, but I was just seeing if I could if I could tease anything out of you there. There might have been
Yeah.
some like you know, I was wondering about like what are the commonalities in like music and sex, and is there anything there? But we may have touched on that already.
Um God, I have absolutely no
Because
clue. Like
so
uh,
I always think like I have lots of like different projects going on and stuff, and I'm always trying to like weave them together, and I'm like, where's the connection between that, right?
yeah.
And I was like, so I guess I'm asking you the same question, like, do they flow into one another? And I guess like the music tech side is probably the main thing, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, definitely. And yeah, I mean music's a great form of expressing yourself as well, right? So um, being able to that's what you want. um yeah, so I think it's yeah, it definitely is interwoven in my life, is that a word? Yeah, and I love music and work very closely with music. And yeah, I think it's I know I've like obviously have a lot of friends that are artists and are confused with their sexuality I mean music is based pretty much on um love, I would say, is the whole concept of how music has happened, right? And what you write about, it's all to do with some type of love, I would personally say. Um, and so it has obviously a massive connection. And you need the right song to have sex to, you know.
Just got Marvin Gaye in my head straight away then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember my friends, they knew that I was gonna have sex that summer because me and my friend had talked about having sex. But my other friends, they then made a sex playlist. Little did he know. So then I don't think I even did I play it on the night we had sex? I think so. And then it like really put me off because I was like, oh fuck, all I'm thinking about is my friend like probably giggling at me right now because I'm using the song. Um
uh,
yeah, very funny. Very good.
it's a bit cheesy, the old music on in the background.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, yeah, definitely. But helpful because if you don't know the person, it's then awkward because like it's just a whole load of noises, right? And it's like silent. And I get in my head too much when I have
Unless
sex.
they're playing like death metal, and you're just like, what
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fuck?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's not like, right, we're having sex, let me put some music on. It needs to be like the fact that you've decided to put music on and just have dinner, and then it turns into something and the music just happens to be on. You
Yes.
know, rather than actually like stopping and going, right, I'm going to put on my music because we're about to have sex, you know. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think yeah, it's not like that. It has to be played already in the background, you know.
Do you do you sing? Do you play an instrument?
I sing, yeah, yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Love it. I wish I could play an instrument, but I have tried countless times. I need to try again. But yeah, it hasn't worked out for me. I'm a very like if I don't have it on like straight away, then
Mhm.
that really annoys me.
Yeah,
um, yeah.
I play music as well.
What do
Um,
you play?
although guitar and sing and
Nice.
I guess drums, but It's been a long time since I played a drum kit. I would have said up until recently, I would have said it's like almost a year since I picked up a guitar. But I picked up one the other night.
Very cool.
So I have a complex relationship with music.
Mm-hmm.
I think I probably thought like that when I was younger. I think people thought I was going places. I think I thought I was going places
Mm-hmm.
and didn't go places. So yeah, but
Yeah.
interesting actually that we were talking before about like dating and rejection and stuff. And then I was sensing, I was like, I feel like this girl's gonna fuck us off. So I like preemptively like I was like, right, I'll get the guitar out, and then.
Mm.
But this is so I get frustrated with writing songs. This is no reason why I get frustrated with music,
Mm-hmm.
because I can't express myself as well as I can perform songs.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I can do really good, like I can do covers and but then you like try and write your own stuff and you're like, that's nowhere near as good or whatever.
Yeah.
And I would go verse, chorus, and then I go, hey, I'm bored now.
Yeah. 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 No, definitely.
I actually I started a YouTube channel 8 years ago, and it was
Nice.
me filming myself, not knowing how to write songs, writing songs. I think I did 6 episodes, but it was really amazing. Like, and it's funny because at the time you're just like so like embarrassed, and
Yeah.
at one point like I delisted my channel because I was like I didn't want people to see like that, right?
Okay.
And then we were actually having we were at a family dinner, and my granddad was there, and he was like people were asking me about my music, and I was saying how it's difficult when people ask me regarding music because I don't really do it anymore.
Yeah.
And then I was explaining this YouTube channel and they said, oh, have you got to like, you know, pull up a video? So like I pulled up the video and I'm sat there with it on YouTube at the dinner table playing this song, and they're like, that was really good. And I was like, it was all right actually, wasn't it? I was like, and then I think that probably like made me realize like not as bad as I thought I was.
Yeah.
Um so yeah, anyway, it's a bit of a tangent there, chatting about music. You can't fucking move for like sexual innuendos in these conversations. Like you said loads of stuff and
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. But I'd say it's because of the subject matter that you work in, but to be honest, like I feel like once you get over the age of 30 as well, like everyone's just looking for an opportunity to make a sex joke in a
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a work environment or
Yeah.
like or
But
may
I find like also whenever I feel like I make jokes and sexual innuendos, or I laugh when someone does and they don't mean to or whatever. And then sometimes like when I say the odd thing, then everyone's like, oh, of course you'd make that joke. When did you stop talking about sex? You know, and I'm like, but surely that's going through everyone's mind. Like it's not because I work in sex. Like this is what
yeah,
everyone.
it is absolutely going through it. Everyone like I don't know. It's just of course it's going through people's mind all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. No, literally. Definitely.
Like yesterday I put in there's like a gym WhatsApp group and there's
Oh god.
I always like am probably the most inappropriate person, but I realized I used to get a little bit anxious about this, and then a few years ago I was just kind of like, no, I'm just gonna do what I want because it's funny.
Yeah.
Like even if no one laughs, but I think it's funny,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of like as long as you're not like you know, like
Yeah,
as long
to
as it's
an
not being
extent.
nasty, as long as you're not being nasty. If you're just being silly, and like the
Yeah.
worst thing
Yeah.
is people are gonna think you're a bit of a dickhead. But
Yeah.
like, I actually put it on my story yesterday, or my close friend's story,
Mm.
because it's like this piece of gym equipment, and I'll have to send you. And it just looks like a strap on
Yeah. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something. And then like I put a picture of it in the group, and I was just like, and I tagged my mate. And I was like, his favorite piece of equipment. And then obviously
Yeah.
it got a bit
Yeah.
of a thing going of like all this innuendo.
Yeah,
And it was
yeah.
like innuendo, and all the lads like kind of like taking the piss. And
That's so funny.
and then I was like, then I said at the end, I was like, in all serious, I said, oh, what did I say? I said, not all joking aside, I am talking about bumming Ben with this. Nothing. Nothing, no reaction. And I'm like,
Oh god.
but like in the past, like, do you know what I mean? I might have worried about that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I need to delete it or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But now I'm just like,
Now,
it's kind of funny because no one laughed. It's
yeah,
almost
yeah,
more funny. It's just like, and I can talk to
yeah.
you about it and say how inappropriate I am in the gym chats. So,
That's
because
so funny.
like
It's actually
the innuendo thing, people enjoy it until you actually say what it is, and they're like,
yeah. Yeah, yeah. It was funny because my dad had a similar thing the other day that he's got a new my mum's friend is now my dad's new friend, and my dad
hang on, your mum's friend is now your dad's new friend, right?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. So
yeah.
so
Parents together, yeah.
yeah, yeah, my
Yeah.
parents. Yeah, yeah. And my dad's really excited the fact that now he's friends with her friend. Anyway, and so he messaged her being like, "Oh, are you free on Monday morning for breakfast or something?" Because the three of them are going out. But my dad messaged her, and then she came back saying, "Oh, uh." Oh well, it has to be in between the times of blah 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 because I've got a meeting with this person and then the gardener's coming around to look at my back garden. And so my dad went back going, "Oh, too much information," as a joke. But he got no reply, and he like panicked, thinking, "Oh my goodness, like I've upset her. Like this is not good." And anyway, so she then contacted my mum. My mum and her went out. And she was like, "Oh my God." And she said, "I'm just so embarrassed. Like, I just gave him my whole calendar itinerary. And obviously, I just yapped on too much. Like, I shouldn't have, gone on about my day." She did. She thought that he was like being like, "Too much information. I don't need, but just say no,"
yeah,
or like
yeah.
spare time. So she thought she was just doing a woman's thing by just
Wow.
yapping on. And my mum was like, and then my mum thought, "Oh God, like she's got to." My mum wants to tell her that it's a sexual innuendo, but then also thought, "Oh God, now my husband seems like the creepy dude that's like, on her." And like she was like, "Oh no, it was just a sexual innuendo because you said about your back garden." And then she was like, "Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Oh, that's great," and like, but she was like, "Well, do I respond that?" And so it was just a whole load of mess, and thinking my dad thought, "Oh my goodness, I've now like offended her because I've been talking about, she didn't obviously get she didn't enjoy the joke whatsoever and thought it was so rude." But it's just the fact that she thought she was being rude because she had just explained her whole calendar. So it was just so funny how it happens now, and that's, yeah, it's funny how that happened literally last week and we're talking about it now.
And it shows just, you just never know, do you? Like what's happening for the other person at the end of it.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah, yeah.
like, but modern day communication and stuff and like text and stuff is like, I mean, everything can be like misconstrued.
Yeah.
Like, I was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
thinking then, like, would you say that in a letter?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah,
like, but
yeah.
obviously in person, you get like instant feedback
Yeah, yeah,
as
and
to
you
like whether
get
it's
a tone of
landed.
voice as well, right? Yeah. You can see
Yeah.
how people mean it. Whereas on text, like I hate my dad puts a full stop after things. So that obviously means he's upset and angry. But then I think, "Oh God, I've upset him." And then when you see him in person, like, no, he just actually knows how to form a sentence, so puts full stops. So it's just funny. But I just look at that, and he puts like when he says K full stop, so like okay, and then full stop. So then it's like, oh my goodness, like,
Yeah.
something's happened. He's not happy that I've asked him for something, and he just put okay, full stop.
It's funny that, isn't it? Yeah. I used to think about that stuff quite a lot. I don't, do I still? I'm a bit of a full stopper.
Mm. Well,
Um,
I'm a kiss. My full stop
yeah, I
is
seen that.
yeah, and that gets a lot of people. A lot of people are like, "Oh, she's flirting with me," or "Oh God." So, yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, I'm always dropping the kisses in. And like, and there's, but it's always weird when you're like, or there'll be like a guy, and I'm like, I'm dropping a few kisses, and then like I get nothing. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, he really doesn't want to put a kiss back, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
not after anything, mate.
I feel like I went through a stage when I was younger that I was like, oh, I want to prove, because it was at school and everyone was like talking about whether you put kisses and blah, blah, and what it means and stuff like that. And I went through a point being like, well, now every time I'm meant to put a full stop, I'm going to put a kiss. So it was literally like when you wrote paragraphs to your friends, and it would always, and then like so within my paragraphs, it
Okay.
would be kiss, kiss, kiss. Like, and then I got to a state that I was doing that. And then now I look back on it and think that's so weird. Like the fact that all my paragraphs are with like so many kisses. Whereas now I just put like 1 or 2 kisses at the end of my paragraph rather than all the way through it. So yeah, it's hilarious.
I tend to like I picked up this one thing from my ex actually, which I remember at the time thinking that was ridiculous. And then it's funny though, isn't it? Like you pick up these things I find.
Yeah.
They seem to linger. The one thing that annoyed you the most, I like start doing it.
Oh, it's
And it's just like friends and family is like kiss, 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 kiss. So it's like 7 kisses, and I
yeah.
seem to have carried that on a little bit. But like I'm the only one that does it, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe my mum.
Mm.
But yeah, it's quite cute, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah, you gotta do it.
yeah. So what about travel? You touched on travel a little bit. What have
hmm
you learned from your travels? Where have you been? How long you go for?
Yeah, so I did 3 years. I started with 3 months and then it kind of just progressed from there. Traveling was amazing.
That's
Yeah,
a
you learn
fair
that.
old time to be out traveling. So what time was this in relation to the podcast, etc.?
So I went at 18 to how 20, 21? Yeah, I came back last year, 21.
So you've been traveling. Oh, you've been traveling while you've been doing the podcast.
Yeah, so I bulk did the podcast and then just released it as I went away and then did interviews when I was away.
Oh, smart girl.
Yeah.
So how
Yeah.
many? So how? What? Okay,
And
let's
then I
get
came
into this. How many would you batch? Like how many episodes?
I do about, well, I've got like at one time I had like a whole year's worth of episodes.
Wow. So like,
Yeah.
is it one a week?
No, it was, and then I've gone through loads of different stages. So either was like once a week or once every 2 weeks, and then it was like once a month. I think it was like once a month when I went traveling. And then either got more frequent when I had more episodes to be releasing.
I
Then it
can't
got
believe
more
you had a
frequent.
year's worth. Like you're putting me to shame now. Like I
Yeah,
feel good if I've got like 5 weeks.
yeah. I think for me it's because I do it on a set, so it's a bed. So and I
Of
take so much
course, yeah,
time out doing it, which
yeah.
means then because I don't do it over Zoom, it is in person.
It's a
Uh
proper one. It's a proper podcast.
so it does mean that it takes more time, and because of the crew I need to bulk it. So I think the most I've done in a day is 8, which is like ridiculous. I shouldn't do that. Because it's just too much. But I tend to do about 4 now a day and do like a weekend's worth. So I do like 2 days, and get a load in and then do that. At the minute, it's been like once every 3 months, since I've been back. But yeah, I try and bulk as much as I can just so I know that I've got stuff. Because I panic. I mean, I don't know how you go about doing it because I'd panic I don't have the guests or the time to edit and things like that.
Yeah, I put myself through hell. Yeah, I think the most I've had like built up is maybe 6 weeks or something. On average, I'll have maybe 2 to 3. Say on average. On average, I've probably got like 2 in the bank, maybe. Like I'll
Yeah.
go weeks, but like so the other week I had like 4 in the bag, and I was like, okay, great. It's like it's almost like saving money in a little pot.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's another one, there's another one, there's another one. Of course, because
Yeah.
I'm recording and publishing every week, and then I just had a really busy week. I was off like doing half marathons, high rocks, whatever, and then all of a sudden I'm like eating into them. And then I'm
Yeah.
like, oh shit. So the last 2 weeks have been solo episodes because I haven't had any guest recordings,
Mm.
and put myself through hell, like having like Friday, Saturday, Sunday writing solo episodes,
Yeah.
and then yeah. So
Yeah, I think
long story short, yeah, is I need to do much more batching.
yeah. Because also, I mean, yeah, it's interesting because obviously we spoke about it beforehand that you kind of either do your, research and questions like the morning of or the night before. Um, Whereas for me, I'll have to do that like in advance because I've got 8 on a day, you know. So
Mm,
it's one of those things that I got to know a lot of information and prep loads for it. But then I have the problems of like finding the right times for people to do it and making people be able to come to me. um
yeah.
yeah, and like it puts a lot of stress on the day. I mean, I get nervous for every single one of my interviews. I can't act cool and calm and collected. So I'm yeah, I as much as I love the filming days, I also hate them because I am terrified for every single one. Um
Yeah,
yeah.
it's funny, isn't it? Like, because doing what we're doing right now is like my favorite. Like Friday mornings
Mm,
are my favorite time to do it
yeah.
because I'm like a little bit dependent on caffeine,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
but then also I've got to like again I'm like I need to be like more disciplined and get more episodes in. So this week I'll do this is my third this week. Actually, that's a record. I've never done 3 in a week.
Well done. Congratulations.
Because I've got like a job as well. So I run a marketing agency, so I have to do that.
Oh.
And I'm like, so, but I do them. So I've done like 2 in the evenings this week,
Mm,
and both in the US, because they're getting up in the morning, so they're gonna. So I'm like at the end of my day, like I've had meetings and stuff. So do you know what I mean? I've not got
yeah.
caffeine in my system, and it is a totally different version of me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm just like I'm like a fucking rabbit in headlights. Just
Mhm.
and I'm just like like don't fall asleep. Don't
Yeah,
like
yeah.
don't like wander off like because my cognition's not the same.
Mm,
And I'm much less likely to chat like I am now, like just fucking
yeah.
going off, whether that's a good thing or not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
But
I
I
never.
quite I like the idea. Well, I kind of wish I could do Zooms because I'm very much like I like the comfort of my own place, and I don't feel like I'm letting anyone down if something happens because you're in your own home and it's like you can. If I went, oh, I've got to go, it doesn't affect you because you're in your own house and you're doing things. Whereas like the problem with doing it in person is that I freak out thinking, oh, what if I'm ill and people have traveled all the way down
Mm,
and I've got to be like, sorry, you're going to have to go because I'm unwell. And then I've got to figure out another day for them to come over.
yeah.
So then I think that's what like makes me worried thinking, oh God, that's so much pressure because I'm having to be with them all day. And it also isn't necessarily that you do your podcast and you go, you're welcome to stay around for as long as you like. And normally like they stay and watch all the episodes and it's a great day that we have lunch and you watch all the episodes and we have a laugh with it. But then I suppose it's just, yeah, I feel like the whole time I'm not only having to think about my questions, but I'm also entertaining for the whole day, and
Mm,
making sure everyone's okay and everyone feels comfortable, and that people are fed and watered um, and obviously I have an amazing crew around me. Um, but it's still on me because I'm the host and I want to host you like you're in your own home. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, yeah. It's just
You do a really good job of it. Like I'd watched some like quite a few of your episodes, and I think interestingly, the last person I had on was what's her name? It's gone. But she's a professor, like a world specialist in linguistics,
oh wow.
and all about like filler words, as, and saying like and stuff like that.
My thing is yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I go
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
know it all the time. It's so annoying.
But she was like a lot of her like here we go. A lot of her thing was saying how actually those things make us human, and you shouldn't be too nervous around those filler words and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was an interesting conversation. But then afterwards, do you know Chris Williamson?
No, I don't think so. Should I? I'm gonna look him
He's
up.
like a really very popular podcaster.
Okay.
He's originally from the northeast of the UK, moved out to America. He's been
Oh
doing it
yeah.
like he was on the first series of
I'm
Love
not gonna
Island.
lie. Do you look exactly like each other?
We probably look quite similar. Yeah, you can tell I'm
That's quite
influenced by
similar.
him. He's got a much better jawline and brow, but yeah. So she'd been on his show. Where was I going with this? Oh, that was it. And we were speaking afterwards, and she was like, yeah, he had really thoughtful questions, like when I went on his show, and she said, and I've been on some other podcasts whereby they just come out with random stuff, and then afterwards I was like ruminating, going, well, my questions weren't thoughtful. Do you know what I mean? And then I went into this spiral of like, well, what's the point? Like, what's the point even doing this? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
I'll never be as good as him. Like,
yeah.
he's more intelligent than me. Why are you even doing a podcast? Do you even enjoy it? Like,
That's so funny.
and
Mm.
I don't know what my point is here, but like, and I was like, I hate doing podcasting. I hate doing it after
Yeah,
like
yeah.
late in the day. But I know like what will happen. I've done this in the past where I've castigated myself and made myself feel bad about an episode, and then they end up being some of my best ones
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
because I'm not too like controlling version of Jason. I'm happy to just like let it like come out. And
yeah.
this conversation actually has been probably the first time in a while that I've really kind of like chatted myself quite a lot.
Ah, that's good.
And I think because I was always conscious I don't want to talk about myself too much. But then people do seem to like the ones where I chat more.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
know?
No, absolutely.
Um
It will make your guests feel more comfortable as well, because then it's more conversational rather than just like question answer, question answer.
yeah, like
Um,
exactly. And this is another thing where I'm like, so I'm coming up to is episode 96. And um I would say there are probably 2 to 3 guests who I've really connected with.
mm,
Um and then stayed in touch afterwards and
yeah.
become like friends slash Instagram friends, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'm like, where are all those people at? Like, because I've
Yeah.
like, do you know what I mean? It's like 3% basically.
Mm,
And then a lot of them were quite early in my podcast journey. So I was like,
yeah.
this is amazing. I'm meeting all these friends,
Yeah, yeah,
and it's and then I would just be like, I kind of haven't really met anyone that I've connected with in a long time. And
yeah.
then, but I feel like earlier on in the podcast, I was so much more open
Yeah.
and vulnerable and just coming out with stuff.
Mhm.
And you've reminded me there that it makes the guest feel more comfortable.
Yeah, yeah.
So there you're gonna have, okay, you're maybe not gonna have the most optimal fucking conversation about, okay, let's talk about sex education. Let's go through all the tenets of it.
Mm.
But people listen to podcasts to be entertained and feel like they've got company, don't they? So
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. But it's funny because also, like, for my podcast, I say to everyone, so I have a meeting with people before we actually go on, not to discuss the questions because they don't know the questions when they go on. But I just, if there's anything that that they don't want to talk about,
mhm,
either for legal reasons or because they don't want to, and then I say that it's just a conversation, because especially talking about sex and relationships, people get really nervous,
mhm.
especially when a lot of my guests aren't familiar with the world
Format.
of
Oh,
TV and film and yeah,
right,
mics,
yeah.
stuff like that, because I'm doing lots of like regular people. And yeah, and I just say, just so you know, like, this is a conversation. You're more than welcome to ask me anything you like. So if you feel uncomfortable, then please go ahead. You know, I'm an open book too. So don't feel like you can't ask me that. But it's so funny that as soon as they're in the headspace, no one will ask me a question at all on the podcast. And I find that really funny. And it's only been recently now, especially like on either my Instagram, that I've become more open by I'll post something and then I'll put a big caption about how I feel about a certain thing that we've either talked about on the podcast and my opinion on certain things. And then in lots of the episodes, I've started just to talk about some of my things too, because it gives them a chance to like think about things more. But it is funny that a lot of people don't realize, like, going on a podcast, they're very much like in the interview format, that they won't think they won't realize that they can flip the question, you know. And there's been a couple of times where I've been caught out when they flip the question, being like, oh, I wasn't ready for that, but I'm gonna go for it, you know, and answer, because I don't expect it. But it is funny how a lot of the times, like, no one does ask me a question because they're very much like, they forget that this is a conversation. It's not just about what their opinions are. It's about the whole sex education within the world, not just your own. You know, there's a reason why you have those thoughts, but why do you have those thoughts? What has the world done for you to make you have those thoughts, if that makes sense? But yeah, it is quite funny. But I read a book when I was younger called How to Win Friends and Influence People, and it really worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such
I'm doing the yeah now. Mirroring.
Yeah. Oh, see, I didn't got it. Yeah. And yeah, that's just such a good book, and about, you know, talking to people and getting people interested in you by you being interested in them.
Listening to them,
You know?
yeah.
So it's really, it's funny. It's a funny world.
I wonder if, are you similar in, so there was many reasons I started the podcast, but one of the reasons was I wanted to become a better listener. So I feel like I can tell, like, you're good at talking. And sometimes it's interesting, like, podcasters, paradoxically, a lot of them, when you see them on other podcasts, like, they're proper chatterboxes.
Yeah.
So they're quite natural in talking. So I wonder, like, how many are quite similar, who are like, okay, I'm going to teach myself to, like, ask other people questions and sit back.
Yeah. No, it is interesting. And it's like, and, you know, and a lot of people have complimented me on the way I interview, because I actually, well, I think my dad has given me this compliment, that he's like, it's great to see you just sit there and let them, you know, do the talking and ramble on, and they find their own, like, a lot of people, they come out of my show and they're like, oh my God, that was amazing. Like, thank you so much. I've learned so much about myself. Thank you for letting me come on. And I'm thinking, I've kind of done nothing. Like, I've asked you one question and you found it for yourself. And I think that like, there's something remarkable in that, you know, that only one question leads to, you know, could lead to anything. And I think that's great. That you let someone, you know, you take in what their thoughts are. And I'm one of those people anyway that just rambles on and yaps on, because I also hate, like, silences or whatever when I'm actually in, you know, public places anyway. But I also, when I'm being interviewed, I find it hard socially anyway. If someone gives me a yes or no answer, it winds me up the wall, because where can I go from there? You know, and I'm there then thinking, okay, what's my next question? Because otherwise it's just going to be like, we're sat in silence. And so, and I find it difficult if I'm doing a podcast episode and I'm not getting much from it, then it's hard for something to work with. And I don't want to be one of those people. So that's when I just, you know, yap on, rather than just saying yes and no, because otherwise then you're thinking, oh God, I've got an hour of this now. What's the next question?
Yeah, so if you ever do find yourself struggling with that, something that I was once told and I try to remember is the power in the pause.
Yeah.
It's like surprisingly effective, because I do exactly the same thing. especially if you're nervous and you've not like loosened up into the conversation, and you're like, "Shit, what's my next question? What do I?" And then it's like, you know, if I listen to like some of the best podcasts in the world, they might say that, and then they'll go,
Yeah.
next question,
Yeah.
and you don't think that they're an idiot. If
Mm.
anything, it actually commands a bit of authority.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah, definitely. And it's funny watching my first ever interview that isn't public anymore, but it was so funny, like watching. Well, I mean, you can see anyway through my podcast journey, like my first episode to the ones that I do now, like the amount that I've learned about presenting and about, you know, podcasting is insane, because of, like, before I was literally like looking at my cards and like interviewing, and then it'd be like, next question, and I wasn't actually like listening to what they were saying, because I was so anxious and thinking, right, this is my show, I've got to give them something.
yeah,
Whereas now, like, I've got cards, but I don't really use them, and I'm very much like, just, I'm actually listening to what they say, and then that can help me. I'm now going on to this topic because they've brought it up, you know. And
yeah,
so, and that's like the art of listening, right? Is that the fact that you know, you're doing that, and they give you loads of branches by just, you know, letting them talk. And I think that's so important. But it is crazy. I mean, I cringe when I watch my old interviews thinking, oh my goodness. And like loads of them are still online. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like, look at me. Just, I can see, because I know exactly what I was thinking at that specific point, that I can see me thinking it, being like, you know, what's my next question? What's my next question?
yeah.
And
But
not even like taking in at all what they're saying. And it's so bad. And then I ask a question, I'm thinking, hang on a second, I think they've already answered that, and I've just asked it again. You know, so yeah.
Yeah, I think you should look back on those with fondness and just be like,
Mm.
wow, like, how brave was I to do that?
Yeah.
And look how far I've come.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely.
I remember my first ever episode, and I'm dyslexic, so I'm a little bit slow in
Hmm.
general. So I picked like quite a difficult trade. Like I can just take a while for things to like sink in.
Yeah.
And this guy was explaining the concept of what equanimity was, and none of it's going in. And what I then realized was I was doing what I'd done all of my time through school, which is
Mhm.
masking. But
Yeah.
like, oh, and I would come back with something abstract enough to
Yeah.
kind of make it look like I understood, or maybe
Yeah.
even confuse the audience a bit. I'm like, oh, what are they talking about? You know what I mean? And
Yeah. Yeah.
then I
Yeah.
had him on a year later or whatever, and then I spoke about this, and I was like, in that first conversation, I was like, there's loads of stuff he said, didn't know what he meant, but I didn't
Yeah.
say. So I was like, today, when we have this chat, if I don't understand you, I'm going to ask.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
But
we
it is
had,
funny. It's when you have like so many words I don't understand, or like even like the fact, like, that I'm a sex educator, and there's so many words that someone says, and I'm like, I have no idea what that means, but I feel like I can't ask because I'm meant to know what that means. And I'm
I
there in
think
podcast
you
interviews,
absolutely
like,
can ask.
and
I
I'm like,
think,
please don't ask me what that is, because I'm always worried that there's going to be a question to me, and I'm thinking I have no idea what that means. I was in a podcast interview yesterday, and they said a word, and their question like ended with that word, and I was thinking, I'm going to pretend I know it, and I'm just going to like, luckily it wasn't a technical word to do with sex, it was just
uh
a
huh,
an adjective that I hadn't
uh
heard
huh,
before, and I was
uh huh.
like, oh god, I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna like
Yeah.
answer it in my own way, you know, because I'm just like, oh god, that's awkward, you know.
I think it's a bit like the pause thing, though, where like you can turn what you're worried about into a strength.
Yeah,
Whereby, because if someone says something, and especially if it's a bit of a wanky word, where you're
yeah, yeah,
like, it's like, because obviously there's a little bit of a game going on there with
mm,
like this intellectual power, and then if you just turn around and say, "What's that mean?"
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
you've kind of gained a bit of power back, because
yeah,
most
yeah.
of the listeners are going to be thinking the same thing,
That's true. That's true. Yeah,
especially
yeah,
if it's way over the top, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I'm probably bad for it. I love a little fancy word that I've picked up. I'll just drop it in every
Yeah.
now and then. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just bad whenever it comes to, don't talk to me about maths or money. That's when I'm like, oh God, don't know what's going on.
Mm.
Um, yeah, recently you had, did you have Jason Greystone on your podcast?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so he came on mine.
Oh, did he?
We didn't talk obviously about, well, it was more about obviously sex and relationships rather than the finance thing that he's into.
Yeah.
But correlated a bit. But he's like such a powerful speaker and amazing that I was thinking, I don't know how, like, if I was talking about, whenever I watch his interviews about like money and finance or
Mhm.
whatever, I'm always like, like if I had an interview and had to talk about finance, I'll be like, I have no clue in what you're talking about.
Mm.
But they sound amazing when they do it.
Yeah, but if you were talking about sex, totally different though,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's knowing, I think true wisdom as well, or like maturity, is knowing what you don't know.
Mm.
And and I do this. Like, I'm a fucking bit of a generalist, so I like to have an opinion on everything or whatever. But sometimes it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
sorry, but as podcasters, we love it to kind of just like, well, maybe it could be this. Maybe
Yeah,
I think it may
yeah,
be some form of neural whatever. I'm like, and I'm just totally
yeah,
fucking bro sciencing my way through something,
yeah, yeah.
which is kind of fun, but
The
it's
fake it
worth,
till you can make it, yeah.
yeah. But it's like, yeah, if you ever have, if you've ever had an academic on, or someone like a
Mm,
professor, they won't really get into that game so much. So, because I'll be like, oh, what do you think about this thing that's slightly related, but they've not done the PhD in it or whatever? And
mm,
they're like, well, actually, you need to speak to my colleague, so and so.
yeah,
It's not really my department. And I'm like, come
yeah,
on, just fucking give me some, like,
yeah.
play with me.
Yeah, yeah, and on my before I well, also, yeah, I became a sex educator because of this woman that came on the show. But she like was giving me all the facts and figures. Has written a book about sex and sex myths and stuff like that. And like she came on my podcast, it was about sex and relationships, and I literally felt so out of my depth, being like, the amount of facts and figures you're pulling out, like, is just mental. And being like, God, I feel embarrassed that I'm the one doing this show when maybe it should be you. It was crazy. And from that, and I was like, I think I should at least try and educate myself in some form to know a bit more about it. But it makes you think also like how that it's kind of powerful. The unknown is powerful as well. Being the fact that you don't know and you're asking questions. Um, that's obviously great.
Yeah. And that's kind of the whole podcast space as a whole, is people not knowing answers to things and
Yeah.
asking them. And
Mm.
I'm like, that's
Yeah.
cool. So we better start to wrap this up because we've been going quite a while. What do you have in the pipeline? Anything we can expect from you?
Just more content. It's getting Christmas. It's becoming close to Christmas. To be fair, I don't know when this will come out actually, so maybe I shouldn't. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it'll be pre-Christmas.
But yeah, lots more content. I've got some more, like, the next interviews are going to be are big ones as well, which is exciting. So yeah, we're just seeing where
Any
it leads.
names you can drop?
I've got well, no, not really,
Okay.
because I don't know in where it's going to go. So actually, I can't. I do, but also, I swear I can give you one. I've got an amazing Channel 4 presenter, Laura Hamilton, and she's incredible. And she's come on the pod, and that episode's going to be released soon, which is very
Oh,
exciting.
cool. Is she a news presenter?
She did A Place in the Sun. She does A Place in the Sun. You know that, yeah, that
Oh,
program.
my dad and my stepmom would love that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, and she's doing. I mean, she's created. She's like amazing presenter in the TV industry and has done very well with her chosen career. So that was really exciting. That's really exciting. And then I'm collaborating with all sorts of people, which is really exciting. So I'm excited to see what happens, and I'm hoping to build just a bigger space to talk about sex education. And I'd love to start like teaching it more rather than just discussing it, if that makes sense. So potentially having maybe different clients to discuss sex education and teach it, which should be good, either going in schools or one-on-ones. So I'm gonna be looking into doing that as well. So if anyone needs help, then I'm your gal.
Excellent. One of the things I talk a lot about on the podcast is habits, healthy habits, rituals, daily practices. So my question to you is, what are your personal non-negotiables to set you up for success in your things that you do?
I know I've touched on it, but definitely like calendars and lists. I love having it. I write everything down. I never do it really on my phone, which is a pro and a con. Because obviously I then don't have it when I go out. I mean, I do like to take my calendar as many places as possible, and it's one of those that actually is like your mum's wall calendar, so it's like huge, and I bring it everywhere.
Nice.
But when I don't have that, I panic. But yeah, I love doing like a to-do list. I'm trying to think what else is really important. I think
have you got any like routines, morning routines, things that you do every day where you're like, yeah, if I didn't do that, like I wouldn't perform as well, should we say? Other than obviously using your calendar and your list.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really bad with routines. I think I definitely need more. But I mean, have a cup of tea every day, and that kind of sorts me out, and I think about what I'm meant to be doing each day.
That's
have
a
a good
good habit. That's a good habit.
I mean, every morning I do have a tea, and I literally sit there and just go through what I'm doing that day, rather than like the whole week. I'm thinking, okay, what can I do to
What's
like
the
make
most
my day
important
better?
task of the day?
Yeah, what to do? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
literally.
So that's like one of my main ones
Mm,
in terms of like actually deciding on what is the most important task of the day.
yeah,
Like, because sometimes I might need an hour to
yeah,
decide that.
mm,
And the tendency is to rush into things because we think that thinking is lazy, or we're and it's
mm,
like, no, actually sitting with a cup of tea and just thinking. Like
yeah.
I do a lot of that, mainly with coffee. Um,
And what I tend to do also is sometimes there's lots of work texts that I get in, or like just text to friends that there's a stage where I'm like thinking I'm so busy I can't respond. And so like maybe every morning I like save all my text messages that I haven't done and press the unread button on my WhatsApp, and I just love it. And then I go through and just like take time responding to everyone and actually making like a good response to everyone. Like even if it's just my friends going, "Oh, how are you?" and I can actually go back with like a really good response, because normally I'm out and I get a message and I quickly respond, and then I completely forget that I ever had a conversation. And like really recently I keep forgetting to respond, and I see it, but at the minute it doesn't help that I'm really jet lagged from where I was, but so now I keep forgetting. But sometimes, there's a work thing and I've missed it because I've flicked and I've replied. So now I'm like, right, no, I need to save this when I'm in the right headspace, when I'm next to my papers, when I'm next to my calendar, that I can actually go through it and answer people in the correct way and how I want to be replied to, because I think that's really important. And I love it. And I love saving up and then thinking I'm really busy and really popular.
yeah, that's a really good one. That's another one that I do as well, in terms of making, because I'm also bad at replying, very bad at replying. When I'm not on it, if that makes sense. And it's
Yeah.
the same thing where I'm like, I don't want to give surface level.
Yeah.
So it just goes unread, or whatever. And then, so recently I've launched this habit tracking app, and So that's part of like, one of them is like, yeah, just respond to everyone on WhatsApp,
Yeah.
and what is the most important, assign the most important task of the day. And I
Yeah.
think those things are good, and just having that time in your day to do things intentionally.
Mhm.
Intentional work is just, I think a lot of people miss that. And I think
Yeah.
if people just thought about what they did a little bit more, you'd probably get
Yeah.
better results.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
This has been fun. Thank you very much.
I need the app. You need to send me the app so I can use it.
Oh, it's Indeep, indiip.com/beta, and you can join my free beta. Link in the description if anyone's listening.
Perfect.
I'll send you it later if you want. So yeah, so the idea is but it's like social accountability kind of thing. So we got like habits, and then people like your friends can like see what you're up to and stuff, and kind of give you a little bit of a nudge.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, have you done your whatever for the day, whatever you said you're gonna do? So that's my little thing that I'm on with at the moment. Yeah, this has been really fun. Thank you for your time.
No worries. Thank you
It's
so much for having me.
you're a very fascinating person, and I've really enjoyed learning
Can't
about
take that as
your
a
like,
compliment.
yeah, no, like a
You were
remarkable,
really fascinating.
fascinating, remarkable guest, and like so early in this in your like podcasting career and stuff, and I'm very excited to see where this goes. And yeah, this has been fun, so thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Where should people go if they want to check out all your work?
Yeah, so my Instagram and TikTok, Tatiana Ashborn _ or my podcast Instagram is Dirty Talk official _. You can find my podcast on all platforms, wherever you listen to your podcast, or you can watch it on YouTube. And that's Dirty Talk Under the Sheets with Tatiana Ashborn and friends.
Fantastic. I will put all that in the episode description as well, and I'd recommend people check it out.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Been a pleasure. Have a good day.